So again, as you can see by the pictures I've already posted, this is the subject for this custom. This brand, I never heard of it before. Maybe some of y'all have. I'll show you here. See if it'll focus, maybe not. Hang on here. Yeah, whatever that brand is. Never seen it, never collected it, so I don't know anything about it. So I've already got it taken apart, and I'm going to go ahead and dechrome it, take all the bits and pieces off here in just a second. One thing I do like about it is the bottom, which is usually the color of the bus, is separate from the top, so no taping or anything like that. You just take it apart, prep it, and paint it whatever you want to paint it. When I want to paint it, of course, the top's going to be white, and the body's going to be this orange. So that's what I'm going to do next. But I'm going to spend a few more minutes here and go ahead and dechrome it, prep it, and I'll paint it, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm done. See you in a bit. Okay, so it's the next day, and as you can see, the body of the bus turned out really good. I'm almost tempted just to leave it this way and polish it up and everything, but it's missing some parts, and I've got other plans for it. But that turned out really good. I also got the wheels painted, and I've got all of the chrome removed from the parts that I wanted to dechrome. This is the back bumper. This is the front bumper. I've got some two-part epoxy here that I'm going to use to fill in these two holes here in the front of the bumper. And as I may have mentioned earlier, to get the chrome off your parts, just soak it in some bleach here, and it'll definitely take the chrome off of it. So it makes it easier to work with and paint. After I get these parts painted, I'll probably work on getting the glass and weathering it up, make some cracks in it, that kind of good stuff. I already did the back glass, and it turned out pretty good. I'll probably put a couple more cracks in it, but that turned out pretty good. So anyhow, that's what I'm going to do next, is get these prepped, sand them a little bit, fill in the holes, and go ahead and get them painted white as well. So once I do that, I'll bring you guys back when we're ready for the next step. See you in a bit. All right, as you can see, I started loosely putting the bus back together again, just to see how it's going to look before I start the aging and weathering process. Got a little bit more dechroming to do, and then again put everything back on here. It's also time to start thinking about the base, how I want to do it. Again, I want this to have a Halloween theme, or at least a fall theme when I'm done. So probably tomorrow I'll button this up and start the aging process, and I'll bring you guys back when we do that first step. I'll talk at you later. I really anticipated this part here to be difficult. Of course, it's the VW emblem for the front of the bus. And I was trying to think of the best way to make this look better before I start aging. So what I'm going to do is soak it in bleach to remove the chrome, and then the inside parts, the recessed part of the emblem, I'll paint orange, same color as the body, and then I'll highlight the rest of it with the chrome paint when I'm done. It'll be easier than cutting all that embedded plastic out of there. So I think we'll take the easy approach on this one. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, just a quick update. As you can see, I've already started to weather the tires. I'm trying to replicate some lichen that's growing on them. Shouldn't have to take them back off the wheels when I start to weather the wheels, but if I have to, it's no big deal. So I'm starting to put the bits and pieces back on. Here's the emblem for the front. Of course, I've got to highlight the raised areas on it, but that should look good. I'll do that probably tomorrow. So now it's time to kind of hit it hard and start to age it, weather it, make her look like she's been sitting in a field for about 35, 40 years. Okay, I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready for the next step. Talk to you later. Okay, so it's a couple of days later, and I've started to weather the body on the bus. In most cases, I'll use like a paint wash to collect in areas where I want to highlight rust or areas where gunk has collected over the years. But I've also used another technique a few times, and that's just regular stain. So I'll use this brown stain, this dark walnut, to go over the body and to highlight cracks and areas where stuff would gather or where rust would form. And I've also used this gray on the tires and stuff to weather them. It seems to work. The only downfall is when you apply it, you actually got to let it set a little bit longer than you would paint. So I actually did this the other night. It's a couple of days later, and now it's cured and dried, so I can carry on with the rest of it. But like I said, this works for me. I've used it many times over the years, so I think I'm going to continue with the stain, and then I'll come back with the paint to highlight areas where I want the rust to show through. Okay, I'll bring you guys back for the next step. Okay, so it's a couple of days later, and I'm finished with any areas I wanted to stain. And as you can see, the stain really highlights areas where rust would develop with a vehicle that's been sitting in a field for many years. And what I'll do next is determine exactly where I want areas that have rusted to really show up. And what I'll do first is put down this yellow, this golden pineapple here in areas that I want the rust to really show up. And then when the yellow cures and dries, I'll go over it with this brown. It's just a regular woodland brown. And it'll really highlight areas where rust has developed over the years. For the front, I'll probably end up putting a tarp over top of it, at least most of it anyhow, to look like the interior was at one time protected, but now it's just kind of let to do its own thing. All right, so anyhow, I'll highlight areas of where I want rust, and I'll bring you guys back for the next step. See you in a bit. Okay, now we have the initial layer of rust. As you can see, places where these would ordinarily rust after setting for a while. There's still a lot left to do as far as weathering it and making it look old, but this is a good start. And when I'm ready to do the next step, I'll bring you guys back. See you in a bit. Okay, so it's a couple days later, and the only thing I've done since I showed you the progress the last time is I gave everything a good spray of the clear matte, just to tone everything down, because the stain will actually look a little glossy once it starts to dry up and everything. So I think I went a little heavy with the brush strokes, so I'm going to have to fix that a little bit. Next step, I'm going to be adding some tarps to the front, and all I use to do that is some watered down glue, some food coloring or paint, and a piece of a paper towel. I'll soak the paper towel in it and just drape it to wherever I want, and as it dries, it will conform to the area that it's laying on. I won't do a step by step because I think I've done that in the previous video, but I'll bring you back when I'm finished and you can see the results. The areas like that's perfect for what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I need to tone down the brush strokes a little bit. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done this stuff, but when I'm ready for the next step, I'll bring you guys back. See you in a bit. Okay, so it's a couple days later, and I decided to step away from the bus for a little bit and start working on the base. Um, this is just a regular piece of decking that I routed the edge to kind of make it look a little fancier. And I've already gone and cut the fence post. Um, and next, I'll have to put up the fence, which I'm just using this type of wire right here for the fence, just like I did on the Beetle custom I did last year around this time. So that'll go around here. And like I said, I always do one each year around Halloween or the season as it begins that kind of has that fall and Halloween theme. And believe it or not, these here will turn into pumpkins. These are actually off an old Christmas wreath that we had. And I will turn these into pumpkins and incorporate them into the diorama. So next, I think I'm going to go ahead and put the ground cover down, some dirt. I'll just cover everything with white glue and thinned out, and then get some backyard dirt and sift it to where it's real fine, and put that down and add a little greenery to it as well. When that cures or dries, then we'll be ready to put the fence on, put the van in place, the bus in place, and start getting to work to kind of combine everything together. Okay, when I'm ready for the next step, I'll bring you guys back. Okay, so I went ahead and got the fence put up. As you can see, I've given it a little bit of color before I weather it later. But got the wooden dowels put in for the fence post and glued in. Now I think I'm going to go ahead and put the first coat of dirt down before I start adding any greenery or anything like that. So I just use sifted backyard dirt, which I need a lot more, and just cover the base with the whatever glue you have. I'll use wood glue, I'll use white glue, whatever. Just give it a good coat and start putting your dirt down, and then that should be good to go. I'll bring you guys back when we're ready for the next step. All right, so it's the next day, and as you can see, the base turned out really good. This stuff is hard as concrete right now. For the next step, I'm going to turn these old Christmas wreath decorations into pumpkins, like I talked about earlier. And mainly it's just a process of creasing them to look more like a pumpkin, and then painting them orange. Real orange. Haven't really done anything to the bus the last couple of days, but it won't be long. We'll be setting her in place and start adding some greenage and some other ground covering and hit the home stretch to get this project done. So when I get these pumpkins done, I'll bring you guys back. See you in a bit. All right, so it's a couple days later, and I began to put down some ground cover the other day. So I'd have enough time for it to dry and cure really good. Still like concrete. Um, just kind of whatever I had extra that I really want to get rid of, I've added to this. I create these little bushes back here in the back. There's still a bit more I need to do. I'm about done with the pumpkins I want to incorporate in here for the fall season. And then, of course, this is where the bus will sit. But everything's coming together pretty good. I got the fence weathered enough. And I think I've got a couple signs I want to put up as well. I don't know yet. I'll spread these out just a little, make these a little bit more bushier. Look more like wild grass or weeds or whatever. But it's coming together pretty good. I'll bring you guys back when we're ready for the next step. All right, so as you can see, we're heading into the home stretch. Still adding some little extras to it to give it that outdoorsy look. A couple things I wish I hadn't done. I wish I hadn't used this stuff here. It don't look very real, not as good as I thought it would, but it is what it is. Um, I made some, as you can see in the previous photos, I made some barrels that I want to add to it and put some stuff in it. So I'm going to try to finish this up here the next day or so, and we'll get the video posted to YouTube. I hope you all have enjoyed it so far and maybe picked up a couple tips. So I'll bring you guys back when this thing is complete. See you in a bit. Okay, so we're going to call this one complete and finished. I'm pleased with the way it turned out. Not my best work, but I had limited time to get this done, and I really wanted to get it done within a week. But overall, I'm pleased. It'll go with the beetle that I did last year. So I'm going to get a couple action shots outside, and we'll see what it looks like with a little background going on. Hope you all enjoyed this. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and please give the video a thumbs up. We'd certainly appreciate it. I'll see you all for the next project. It'll probably be a beetle project, but I'll see you soon.